You are asleep. In this state, you are completely defenseless. You have no armor, no heightened awareness, and biologically speaking, you are nothing more than a quiet piece of meat lying in the middle of the wilderness. Imagine you are lying inside a thin nylon tent, the only thing separating you from the apex predators outside. These are creatures with night vision, razor-sharp hearing, and a predatory instinct honed over millions of years. Lions, tigers, wolves, leopards. These are machines of destruction, capable of ending your life in a heartbeat. Yet the strange thing is, it almost never happens. You wake up the next morning safe and sound, even when you are surrounded by the territory of these notorious carnivores. Why is there such a peculiar hesitation? Could it be that we unknowingly signed a silent treaty with the wild, at the very dawn of humanity? Today, we will dive deep into the genetic code, the chemical signals, and the primal fear, the very things that truly protect you while you sleep. In reality, humans are the most terrifying species in the history of the Earth. Over the past 2 million years, we have hunted, decimated, and wiped out megafauna across every continent. The animals that did not fear humans, those bold individuals that dared to attack us, were systematically removed from the gene pool through the brutal process of natural selection. What remains today are the descendants of the creatures that learned to be wary of humans in order to survive. This is a form of reverse evolution that we inadvertently imposed upon nature. When a leopard or a wolf hears the sound of human voices, its brain does not pause to analyze. It immediately triggers an ancient biological instinct passed down through countless generations. It is a signal hardwired deep into their nervous system, commanding them to stay away from this object because it represents death. This caution is not a choice. It is the legacy of a million-year war. Every time an animal survives an encounter with us, that survival memory is etched into its DNA, creating an inherited prejudice against our species that no individual animal needs to learn from scratch. This fear is not merely surface level. It is a complex survival algorithm. Modern predators have developed an early warning system where even a slight vibration of the air, carrying the cadence of a human voice, triggers their stress response to red alert, forcing them to prioritize flight over the hunt. To a predator, humans are a deeply confusing chemical disturbance. We do not smell like any natural prey. Our body odor, blended with soap, synthetic fibers, plastic, and processed food, creates a highly alien chemical signature. In the animal world, strangeness always leads to extreme caution, neophobia. Predators never want to attack a target they cannot decode, because to them, ingesting something that smells of chemicals is an unnecessary survival risk. Furthermore, a campfire is not just a source of warmth, it is an invisible shield. The fear of fire is innate, linked to the destruction that every animal must avoid at all costs. A flickering flame in the night is a fierce announcement that the master of the most dangerous element on the planet is here. Research shows that even laboratory-raised predators, which have never seen a fire in their lives, exhibit avoidance behavior when exposed to the scent of wood smoke. This suggests that the connection between fire and the human predator is a fundamental piece of biological software pre-installed in the brains of nearly all land mammals to ensure they do not get caught in our wake. Even the light from a campfire creates a visual safe zone where predators cannot utilize their night vision effectively, as the glare makes them vulnerable if they were to face a group of armed humans. Predators never act on a kill-on-sight whim. They live by a logic of ruthless energy optimization. In the natural world, even a small injury means death by starvation or the inability to hunt. Therefore, every attack is a strict mathematical calculation. Is the energy gained from hunting a human worth the risk of being injured? In almost every case, the answer is no. Humans are too large and unknown. We stand upright, a posture often associated with threat and confidence in animal body language. We usually travel in groups, forming a collective capable of chaotic and dramatic retaliation. One person's scream can wake the entire group, turning an easy hunt into a life or death battle. To a predator, attacking humans is a gamble with a failure rate that is simply too high, and they are smart enough to know there are much safer prey out there. Moreover, our sentinel function during light sleep means we are never truly off duty. Our brain remains partially tuned to environmental anomalies, ready to snap into a defensive state within milliseconds, an evolutionary advantage that keeps us from being the easy, unconscious meal predators seek. This system acts like an information router, constantly filtering out the familiar sounds of the night forest and amplifying only the anomalies. It is this capacity for instant arousal that helped our ancestors survive for millions of years, ensuring that any predator intending to approach closely faces a prey, ready to fight rather than an immobile victim. No, nothing is absolute in nature. Attacks on humans still occur, but they always follow a pattern of desperation. The beasts that dare to attack humans are usually those that are injured, disabled, or pushed to the brink by the loss of their natural habitat. If you look at historical accounts of man-eating beasts, you will find they were all individuals no longer capable of hunting normal prey due to injury or old age. The real danger comes when the primal fear is erased, when humans start feeding animals or allowing them to become accustomed to human scent. Their instinct for caution fades. That is when the danger arrives because the boundary of fear has vanished. When a predator no longer views humans as something to be avoided, they begin to see us as any other prey. And that is when the silent treaties are completely broken. Once the human danger association is severed, the animal loses its evolutionary compass, treating us as a novel source of calories rather than a dangerous fire-wielding apex predator. This is why human-wildlife conflict peaks, wherever we ignore the fundamental rules of the wild. Your safety while camping in the deep forest comes not only from the predator's fear, but also from the fact that humans have fundamentally altered the structure of the entire ecosystem. The fear we have spread over millennia has created safe zones for herbivores. Our presence acts as a living signal, forcing predators to move, adjust their habits, and avoid areas where we are active. We are no longer just tourists in the wild. We are a true ecological force. The next time you lie in your tent listening to the echoes of the night and feel a flicker of anxiety, understand that you are safe, not because you are weak, but because you represent the most terrifying species this planet has ever produced. The predator outside your tent is not coming in simply because it knows your presence is a boundary it dares not cross. You are carrying the legacy of 10,000 generations of survivors, and that is the invisible shield protecting you in the dark.